April 24th, 2024, from the website RealRawNews.com. Article entitled, Putin Destroys Ukrainian Pedophile Communication Network. Russian President Vladimir Putin on Monday ordered the destruction of a Ukrainian television antenna his mortal enemy, the criminal Volodymyr Zelenskyy, has been using as a medium to broadcast child pornography to affluent child sex traffickers living in Kharkiv and nearby towns, FSB agent Andrei Zakharov told RealRawNews. On Monday, the internet was replete with footage showing the red and white spire of the 700-foot-tall tower careening to the ground, enveloped by plumes of billowing smoke. Zelenskyy called the strike an attack on democracy and said that Putin was disrupting communications as a prelude to a full-scale invasion of Kharkiv, even though Russian forces have been shelling Ukraine's second-largest city intermittently since mid-2022. The city's governor, Oleh Senehobov, announced on X, quote, the occupiers attacked a television infrastructure facility in Kharkiv. Agent Zakharov claims the now-toppled antenna had a purpose besides broadcasting Western propaganda and insipid programming to the region's 1.4 million residents. It had also broadcasted a scrambled signal that, when decoded, showed young children forced at gunpoint to perform unspeakable, degrading sex acts with one another. He said that on April 19th, Spetsnaz raided the home of child trafficker Anton Doroshenko, whom the FSB had linked to a spate of kidnappings. These filth kidnap our children from border towns and cities to sell as sex slaves. President Putin has said to show these monsters no mercy, Zakharov said. The Spetsnaz, he added, stormed the home and found Doroshenko and 3 companions sitting on a sofa beside a television. The 4 vermin were laughing up a storm as they pointed at the screen, which displayed a live broadcast of adolescent boys and girls engaged in sexual acts. The children had been fitted with electric shock collars. An obese man stood next to them, and a Kalashnikov in one hand and a remote control in the other. The Russian soldiers, Zakharov said, ordered Doroshenko and his fellow pedophiles to surrender, but one of them reached for a pistol on his hip and promptly shot himself in the thigh while drawing it. The Spetsnaz opened fire, killing everyone except Doroshenko, who, when tortured, told the Spetsnaz that he was watching the broadcast to decide which child to bid on. He said a rectangular device about the size and shape of a small SSD drive decoded the enciphered signal. When Spetsnaz disconnected the cipher, the disgusting scene vanished, replaced by an evening news broadcast. Somehow, whoever runs this operation, how you say, piggyback signal on top of normal propaganda news, Zakharov said. We interrogated this pig for 6 hours, but he says he does not know where children are kept. You stick ice picks in a man's balls, he will tell the truth if he knows it. He tells us that the signal is relayed from someplace to the Kharkiv tower and rebroadcast, and everyone with the decoder can see what we did not want to see and bid on our children. He also tells us he got the decoder from Kirilo Oleksandrovich Budanov, a chief of Ukraine's intelligence directorate. That's how deep this goes. So we can do what we can. We send missiles at the tower. Doroshenko was tortured until he begged for death and was euthanized with a bullet to the brain, Zakharov added. The Russian army, he said in closing, will break down every door in Kharkiv and execute every person in possession of a decoder until all the missing children are found.